Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back for the day of the crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Hedera or Hbar. There is a lot of things to really kind of talk about in regards to, some updates, some other insights as well. And I do want to just address a few charts before we do jump on into the video. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump in, I just want to ask if you guys could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. But with that in mind, let's talk about what's happening. So in terms of the market, in my last two videos from today, I already mentioned that the market is pretty much just in a snooze fest sort of fashion, just sitting sideways, not doing really anything. It's just kind of just doing its typical thing, right? Consolidating until the next major breaking point. Now, in terms of a lot of these altcoins and Hbar, we are still ranging around those levels that we've been seeing for the last couple days, which I know to a lot of people is probably just boring. They don't want to even look at it. I get that, and I fully understand. In terms of the trading volume, it's still down. There's not too much movement, but I suspect that this is actually very good for us. And I said this in my first video from today, saying, in terms of Bitcoin, pretty much just ranging on here, it's actually fairly bullish for us because it does push prices more so into Q1 and Q2 of 2022. And I know what a lot of people are probably thinking, oh, I gotta wait again to sell all my stuff, but it's actually good because if we do sell in 2022, we don't have to pay taxes until 2023 on those gains. Because it's not in 2021 in terms of the fiscal tax year. So that's very good for us. And in my opinion, I think a lot of these altcoins are more so ready to really pop in possibly this month and even January. So with that in mind, before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to let you guys know, if you guys do want to get my personal trading indicators, my exit plans, all that kind of stuff, you guys could do so on NCashOfficial.com. Links are down in the description below as well as in the comments below. The best deal for your buck is the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, which is 35% off until the end of this month. So if you guys are interested to that, definitely check it out. Links are down in the description below and in the comments below, like I said. So with that in mind, let's move on. So shout out to Crypto Bull God. Does not get nearly enough recognition as he deserves, but we do see here Hbar 3-day daily reminder. Hbar'S, this is a massively bullish cup and handle. Patience will be rewarded. Valhalla waits for only the select few, and it is 100% just that. We are waiting for this major cup and handle to break out. Usually these are some very good, bullish patterns that do play out perfectly for us to get some major upside potential, and we do see, a couple levels up there that we are aiming for. We're looking at 75, 90, $1.10, $1.40, $1.70 plus. The sky is the limit. We don't know exactly where we are going to go from here, but we know that some high-grade targets will be met, and it's most likely by January 1st. That is when this triangle should be broken. That is when we should have the next major breakout event. So with that in mind, we are coming down very, very close on the wire to having this major breakout event, and I'm very excited to pretty much watch this unfold with all of you. And of course, we could have a breakout sooner than the first. We are just waiting until that point. So shout out to Crypto Bull God. Again, incredible individual nonetheless. And when we're looking at this chart from Credible Crypto, of course, he got a lot of hate when he was comparing, Hbar to Matic or Matic to Hbar, if you will. And we do see here people attacking me saying I am fear-mongering. LMAO, and then he says, I have no skin in the game. I could care less about what happens. Was just making an observation as Hbar did the same highest weekly close ever, followed by a 35% drop. It makes sense from a liquidity perspective, that is all. And if we do see here, it is actually a perfect test of the weekly demand zone, which is at around the 30 cents to 33 centile range. I think that this is actually very bullish. In fact, he's even saying it does make sense from a liquidity perspective, and it does. This actually allows us to range even higher. If we're talking about the pattern that played out, even going all the way back to the beginning of this year to where we are now, we could see that we are just repeating this nice pattern that we've seen in the past. Now, overall, it doesn't mean that we are gonna go lower or anything like that. It means that we've pretty much tested the demand zone. We have that liquidity pretty much brought in now. From a liquidity perspective, this allows us to gain more demand. This allows for a lot more individuals to buy Hbar and be in for the next major move up. And I suspect that, like I said, the next major move up is going to be very interesting because this is a massive cup and handle formation. Now, also in regards to Hbar, we know that it is not the best performing asset within this space. They're saying top blockchain platforms with the highest year-to-date ROI. In fact, I mean, I wouldn't call HBAR necessarily a blockchain, if you will, but of course, do with that what you will. But we do see here a few of these, assets listed here. We're seeing $1,000 invested. Current value of investment. We do see here Solana would have been worth $134,000. Phantom would have been worth $123,700. KDA 109. Matic 97.8K. Luna 1. AVAX, BNB, eGold, and even HBAR. Now with this, I just want to say, HBAR has done a 1,025% run. That's totally fine. When we're looking all the way up at those nice percentage fractals, it just tells us that we are still early. In fact, on what HBAR has been doing and what HBAR has done, it just tells us that we are so early in terms of the percentage gains. And with this, I do want to talk to you guys about a few updates that have been happening. First off, when we go look back on cryptocurrencies on CoinMarketCap and we go to the metaverse scene, right? Or even just the NFT scene, right? The NFT scene is pretty big. Now, there is also a lot of talks within the scene in terms of gaming. If we're actually going to the category of gaming, and let's actually go to gaming here, because gaming has actually been pretty big in terms of the percentage gains, and a lot of these assets. For example, we always look at Axie Affinity or Gala. Gala's been doing incredibly well, up 56.9K%. Sandbox as well, even VRA, Mana, a lot of these assets have been doing incredibly well. And the reason why I bring up gaming again is because today we have a new employee that joined Hedera, and he's saying, I joined the Hedera team this week, excited to work on and learn more about DOT tech after spending years in blockchain, focused specifically in the NFT and gaming scene. Very interesting. I think that this is great, and in fact, I think that this is going to explore a lot of the use cases within those scenes and actually allow for the ecosystem to even spread out into more and more industries. We have been in NFTs and gaming in Hedera, but I think that this is even better because we are seeing more so a focus on that area, which is going to lead to some growth within that area as well. Now, we do see here our North Star vision for the future. Groups will form digitally native communities, controlling their own assets, identities, data, marketplaces, economies, and more. Mission: empower you, the builders, creators, innovators, and individuals to build your own economy. We support Hedera as the technology layer most effective for you to create applications for these economies by providing financial, technical, and marketing support. Goals: grow awareness of, accelerate access to, increase commerce in the HBAR economy. Marketing will be a foundational pillar to our success and key to achieving our goal of awareness. This is coming from the CEO of the HBAR Foundation. This is telling us that we are going to be seeing the HBAR Foundation and the HBAR ecosystem, or the HBAR economy in general, grow at a very massive rate. And I'm very excited to be a part of this. I believe that this is going to allow for us to actually prosper ahead of most of those blockchains that we've pretty much mentioned in the past, just in this video alone, which are these blockchains up here. HBAR is not a blockchain. But I just want to mention that real quick. It's not blockchain technology, it's Hashgraph, which we know. So with that, we also see here, I am so sold on Hedera. When you look at projects like Hedera being the standard, it's hard to look at Bitcoin and Ethereum. For all HBAR holders, we have lucked out, in the words of Privacy Guru, privacy strategist on Hedera. And this video is coming from the Bearable Bulls website, but listen closely to this.
Ethereum's going to do just fine. I think it'll be doing well for years to come. I just think that there's challenges right now, and there's absolutely good reasons to take a look at the Hedera network and services. And I, personally, I'm not going to offer anything to anyone else about how they think about what networks they use, but I'm so sold on Hedera that I will look at, if someone's like, look at this project, what do you think? I'm going to be like, all right, well, I'm going to look at it in the context of Hedera is what I know first, and I compare everything else against Hedera. Most people in crypto have, kind of grew up in it a little more. I don't want to say most, but a lot of people. So they started with Bitcoin and then Ethereum, and then then they move on to others like Hedera, and they're comparing it to what they know of Ethereum. That's just not how I got into the space. So it's a little backwards for me, and I feel like I lucked out by really getting involved in Hedera first, because now I feel like I've got the gold star of what of what a public trust network should look like, and with thoughtful architecture and development, ongoing development, that I compare everything to Hedera, and that's, I think, been an easier way, since it's so, I think it's superior to most, that I think it's an easier way for me to see what's actually novel elsewhere, and what is actually different in a better way to Hedera, piecemeal, but looking at other projects and networks.
And I do like the fact that she did mention superior than all the other ones. I mean, she didn't mention any names, and of course, she is talking about Ethereum and how Ethereum will continue to prosper, which I agree fully as well. I think that Ethereum does have, some bright times ahead of it, but I don't believe that. In my opinion, Ethereum is going to be utilized the way that it's supposed to be utilized in the coming years because of the inefficiencies of it. But of course, I do believe that Hedera is going to be a great project, and I do compare a lot of these other assets to HBAR whenever I do make my investments as well. So I'm right on the ball with her on that, and I do completely agree. Now, I do want to discuss three significant things, and that is FPOS, right, or FPOS, right? So accepted at nearly 1 million terminals, over 50 million cards in market, and over 2 billion transactions a year. Okay, FPOS is working with Hedera. We know this. But this is 2 billion transactions a year. Now, with the recent updates with Shinhan and Standard, we have to look at those as well. And the best part about this, okay, is that when we're coming down the line for this, I don't know why this is not letting me see this now. It just did before. There we go, real quick. But we do see that they are doing about 187 trillion overall transactions. That is absolutely crazy. Or I should say, the volume generated 187 trillion South Korean won, which is slightly up from 186 trillion South Korean won in the previous year. So this is actually pretty big, and this is a large amount of cash flow as well, realistically speaking. And in terms of the transactional volume, I'm not sure how many transactions that is, but we could expect it to be fairly large. Now, this is just from Shinhan Bank, or by Shinhan Card from Shinhan Bank. In terms of Standard Bank, okay, I looked up and I was doing some research on Standard Bank as well, because they are working with Shinhan within the ecosystem of Hedera, and we've seen that. And let's actually look here. So I believe it was. So here we go. Deposits from customers grew 14% year on year to about 1.5 trillion, and I believe that this is rand. Yeah, so rand, South African rand. Now this is pretty big. Now in terms of dollars, we're looking at some pretty high significant volume, because this number here actually tallies to around $94 billion. Okay? Now, I know that might not seem like a lot, but it actually is. And that's actually a fairly large amount of money to flow over something like Hedera, if at some point in time we do get to that point, which I believe that we will. Now, of course, this was just deposits. Okay? This was just deposits from customers. This is just one transactional flow. There's of course a ton of other ones that we could look at in terms of banking activities, like other banking interest, Liberty, corporate and investment banking, personal and business banking, and so much more. But that is how big a lot of these updates are, or these partnerships are. Okay, in just a few years, I see HBAR at some very large targets because of this. We are growing at astronomical rates. In fact, just November alone, we've seen 95 million plus transactions. We've seen 77,000 new accounts in November. And we even see here, right, 4 new exchanges, OTC desk, and brokers, and we didn't have any wallets and custodians, but we are still seeing the transaction and accounts grow astronomically, and it's because people are seeing the real vision from Hedera, and being a long-term investor into something like HBAR should provide you those insights, and pretty much doing your own research should also provide you those insights on why you should be, a long-term investor on this asset. Like I said, if we get to the top 5, we're already worth $3.94, but if we're looking at Ethereum's overall market cap, we're looking at like $30. I think that that is achievable in the coming years. By 2025, I think that this space is going to look extremely different. I believe that HBAR is going to be a leading name in the game, and I'm very, very excited for the future of this space and even HBAR. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.